Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. It is your girl, Meg here, light summoner, life encourager, life coach on a mission to help you shine brighter in your everyday life. So, we are here today for our Friday live stream, and I am talking all about self care and specifically about self care because there are some misconceptions, I think, about what self care actually is and what it what it looks like. I think so many people are attached to up in the form of bath massages and facials, like this very physical manifestation of like the pinnacle of relaxation. But I want to offer the consideration that self care can also be just choosing to sleep in. Self care can be deciding to call out of work when you're not really sick, mental health day. Um, Self care can mean choosing to not spend time with people that make you feel shitty or that you feel shitty in their presence. Self care can be choosing to drink more water. Self care can be deciding that you're going to be in better relationship with your money, with your resources. Self care can mean adding in a 5 minute or a 10 minute meditation ritual a couple times a week. Self care to me is anything that expands your ability to love yourself more and to show up in the communities that you participate in with a bigger open heart, like more empathy, lots more kindness. Self care helps you soften the internal dialogue, right? It helps you look at things a little bit less critically. Because if you're tired, if you're run down, if you're dehydrated, if you're hungry, if you are in any sort of like imbalance, then it's going to be really increasingly more difficult to do the things that you want to do, right? Like, can't run a marathon exhausted, you know? Um, it's harder to start new things. It's more difficult to overcome big hurdles if you are depleted on a very core base level. So while self-care can be these really kind of like sexy, fascinating, therapeutic experiences, I think self-care can also be as simple as softening your internal dialogue. Self-care can just be a small choice, a small shift in your awareness for you to love yourself a little bit more, to show a little bit more self-compassion. And also a bath bomb and a manicure when the time is right. But I want us to think about self-care in terms of things that expand us, things that support us when we are feeling depleted, and practices and habits that aren't that scintillating or fancy, but help us get back to ourselves, help us reconnect with our source, help us be more aligned with who we want to be and the space we are very intentionally taking up in the world. And so here's to your self-care plan. Do you have one? If you don't have one, might I challenge you to take 10 or 15 minutes today and write down one thing you could do each week that would be a version of self-care? What's something that you could do each month that's a version of self-care? Like, for example, for me, each week, a version of self-care is that I take a day off each week. I mean, I love working so much that I'm working all the time, but I don't want to be a workaholic. I've been down that road. It doesn't suit me. I don't want to go back there. So part of my self-care itinerary is to take a day off. Another part of my monthly self-care itinerary is to get my hair cut, more of that traditional sense of self-care. Um, sometimes we get so sucked into what we're doing for everybody else that we start to neglect these very fundamental things that we want to do for ourselves, or we're so honed in on a project, or we're so honed in on our work, or so honed in on, whatever it is external to us, that we start to kind of let our own self-care routines go. Another daily ritual for me is meditation. So that is like foundational, right next to like a practice of appreciation, acknowledging with appreciation the things that I have that make my life full. Those are very foundational rituals for me every single day that I'm doubling down on. And so take 10 or 15 minutes today and really commit to what your self-care plan looks like. What are you doing to keep yourself in a place of highest vibration with yourself? What is your higher self, your inner being, really telling you about what you need to do to get into that place of joy and bliss and satisfaction? What do you need to do? I'll tell you what you don't need to do is continue feeling like shit. Like, it's not going to help. Like, something's got to give, right? Something's got to switch. Your awareness has to go from how shitty the current circumstances are right now into believing that there can be something better than what you're experiencing right now in this moment. And even if that mantra is, I want to feel better than I do right now in this moment. I want to feel better than I do right now in this moment. I want to feel better than I do right now in this moment. Then you are moving yourself downstream. That is one of the most powerful mantras that my friend Megan ever subscribed to or prescribed to me. She said, just feel better than you do right now. Because inch by inch, if you're feeling better than you do right now in this moment, you're moving closer to it. You're moving closer to it. You don't have to be, there's this sense of like self-care for me right now is also cultivating a sense of patience. That could be a whole live stream in and of itself. Maybe that's what we'll talk about on Monday, the journey to cultivating a sense of patience, because worry, I know specifically for me and for a lot of people, my worry and my anxiety lives a lot in my impatience. I want what I want it and I want it now. I like get very Veruca from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I want a golden egg and I want it now. Not that whiny, but you want money in the bank, you want that money in the bank. You want clients through the door, you want those clients through the door. We're not much conditioned to cultivate a sense of patience because we get a lot of the things that we want so immediately in life these days. But we need to leave a little bit of space for the mystery to work, right? And we can build a sense of perseverance and resilience by being at ease with that mystery. We don't have to have it all figured out. We don't always have to know the how, because that will find us. We need to move from the why. Why are you doing this? Because I believe I can have something better than I do right now in this moment. Because I see it. And self-care gives you the wherewithal to see these things more clearly, to be more in tune to these messages, right? To look and say, it's not that deep. To stay surface level with your desires, right? To get clear on what it is that you want to feel. That clarity is key, and that clarity comes from self-care. And self-care isn't always big things. It can be really tiny things as well. So that is what I have to say about self-care for today. As always, friends, if this video was of value to you, please go ahead and share it, like it, send it to a friend, invite them to the page. You can join the Be the Beacon group. I have launched the membership plans for us to get together and work as a group. And so I have 2 of those membership plans I launched this week. One is for business builders. One is an intentional living support circle for people just looking to go deeper into these specific topics: self-care, self-love, self-compassion, resilience, overcoming resistance, dealing with overwhelm. Whatever your stuckness might be rooted in, we can start to dig it up and unearth where those ties really lie, so we can rewrite that story for you. You can really rewrite it for yourself, but I will guide you in that process. It's also going to help you have accountability, support, and clarity around what your next moves are, whether those be personal or professional. So if you are wandering through life kind of feeling like, meh, don't feel that way. And by don't feel that way, I mean, get the support to help you unearth what it is that is keeping you in that recurring pattern of thought. There is an easier way to go about your existence, and it involves enacting ease and patience and grace and these things that you want to focus on, not what you have been told that need to be the point of your focal awareness. So if those offerings sound good to you, you can catch a link in the comments and go check those out. And always, I offer a 30-minute free breakthrough call. 30 minutes for you to get a mini coaching session with me so we can really summon some of that inner light and get clear on what's not working and see if any of these options of working with me might work for you as well. So please, always open there for you to take me up on that invitation as well. Friends, it's Friday, right? Be good to yourselves, be kind to one another, and make it the best weekend ever. Remember that self-care is totally rooted in what you need right now in this moment. And that can be something super simple or something really therapeutic. You get to decide. So with that, friends, have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.